Hello traders, Yolanda here with extraordinarytrading.com. Guys, I am battling a cold, and when I'm not battling a cold, I have year-round allergies. So I am hoping that the audio quality comes across okay for this video. So this video is going to be about my weekend trading routine. However, before I get into it, I do want to welcome my new subscribers and to introduce myself. So my name is Yolanda, and I have a website called extraordinarytrading.com, and I am a Forex trader. I have been trading Forex for just over 3 years. Prior to trading Forex, I was a project manager, program manager, and portfolio manager. I made a very nice sized 6-figure salary managing projects and programs for large corporations, and I walked away from it all about a month before I began trading Forex. So I did something very risky. Everyone thought that I was crazy. It's like, who would walk away from this very handsome salary that you have, and you're on this corporate ladder to really ascend through the ranks and things of that nature. But I had a different plan for my life. So I fortunately had a nice size 6-figure dollar amount that I had set aside that I was able to use to not only pay bills, but also to fund all of the trading accounts that I later blew up. So I understand the struggles of new traders. However, I think that the fact that I did just end up quitting my job and I jumped all in with trading, that really helped me to accelerate my path to profitability. And as I've stated in a previous video, on average, statistics show that it takes Forex traders 10 years before they become profitable. It took me less than 3 years before I became consistently profitable. So I create these videos because I am giving you all the tips for all of the issues that I have had to resolve for myself over the years that have helped me to become a profitable trader. Okay, so on to the purpose of today's video. So each weekend, what I do is I initially start to plan my trading activities for the upcoming week. And the first thing that I do is I go over to Forex Factory. That's forexfactory.com. And let me get over there. And I take a look at the calendar for the upcoming week. Okay. Now, what I am focusing on initially is any currency that has red news or major news events scheduled for that currency for the upcoming week. Okay. And that's where I'm going to place most of my focus for identifying trade setups. So in this particular case, I can see that the US dollar has some major news events, as well as there's one for the New Zealand dollar, the Australian dollar, and so on and so forth. Now, I also saw a couple of news events up here for China, and Australia and China are they're big trading partners. So news events for China will impact the Australian dollar. So I know that I am going to be focusing on looking for trade setups primarily on the Australian dollar and US dollar pairs. But I'm also taking a look at the orange and yellow news events scheduled throughout the week, and I see a lot of news events for the euro and the British pound as well. Those currencies are range bound. So I am going to be identifying areas of support and resistance and looking for opportunities to trade those currencies as well. Okay. So that's it. That's all the time that I spend on Forex Factory. Another tip is because I am a technical trader, I pay attention to the days and times that news events are released, but I don't care what the result is. In fact, I deliberately ignore it, okay? I have found that based on my ability to analyze my charts, it does not matter what result is displayed when the actual results are posted. Usually my trade setups are correct, and I don't want to be impacted by whatever number they put up there. Okay, so that's just me. You know, everyone has a different trading style. I deliberately ignore the actual results of the news event when it's announced. Okay. All right, so the next thing that I do is I open up one of my trading software platforms, and I take a look at the monthly, weekly, and daily and hourly charts for the 21 majors and crosses, okay? And what I'm looking for is really to just get an understanding of what the overall direction is of that currency or that pair. And then I also start to identify areas of support and resistance. So let me just kind of show you what I would do in this example. So here's the Euro USD, and as I stated, it is range bound. So here is a level of resistance that we have been, I talked about this in a recent video, that price has been hitting up against this area of resistance, and I'm actually looking for price to eventually break through this level. But then I will also identify levels of support, okay, because I'm not going to marry my trading idea. So although I may have a bias when I'm going through my analysis, if price action tells me that my initial analysis is wrong, then I'm getting out of the trade. And then I'm going to reassess and determine whether or not I just got stopped out, or if the direction is changing, or whatever may be the case, okay? So at this point, like I said, I'm just identifying areas where I am going to start paying attention to price action. And then what I do is I will actually add an audible alert to these lines, because I want to have a notification trigger to tell me that price has hit this area, okay? So I'll set an alert, and then if I'm gone, sometimes what I will do is I will set up an email. So I'll set it up so that I will get an email when a certain price level is hit, okay? So that's what I do with my charts. And that's why I have evolved into trading price action and support and resistance levels. It's because I don't have to sit there and look at my charts all day waiting for a setup. You know, I realize as a parent who homeschools, and I have a lot of hobbies and things that I like to do. I don't want to spend my day just looking for setups. So I find that identifying key areas where I expect for price to potentially make a turn helps me to balance my family and my business here, which is trading. All right. So from there, I've already got my game plan. Sometimes I'll make a note. I might open up a notebook and I kind of jot down some notes as to what I'm planning on doing, or I'll just type the notes on my chart. Sometimes I'll do both, okay? So then I'm done with all of my planning for the upcoming week. Then I move to learning, and I know you all don't know me very well, but I am obsessed with learning. I am always researching something. I'm always studying something. Some of my past coworkers used to call me a walking encyclopedia. I just love to learn. If I have to choose between watching a documentary and going to watch some movie, I will choose a documentary. In fact, my ideal day, and I guess maybe I'm kind of boring, but my ideal day is really me sitting down with a book and a cup of tea, and I am just happy. If I have to choose between going to a party And reading a book, I am going to read a book. So I literally decline 99% of what I am invited to. But it's because I look at my time. It's a precious commodity. We don't have a precious resource. We can't get any more. What we have is all that we will ever get. And so I am very protective of how I use my time. And I like to learn. So one of the things that I do, and I talked about this in a previous video, is I like to go back and back test my trading strategy. I like to keep my decision-making skills sharp. And so what I'll do is I'll open up a pair and I'll, drag the scroll bar all the way over. And then I will just kind of, one candle at a time, I will scroll over and ask myself, do I expect for price to go up or down? And what will I do if that happens? So if price goes down, am I going to stay in the trade? If price goes up, will I stay in the trade? This exercise has really helped me to learn how to trade price action. So I never purchased any price action courses. I taught it to myself over the years, but I invested a lot of time. And guys, that's one thing I will tell you. The amount of time that I have put into studying charts and practicing trading is probably the equivalent of most people who have traded for 10 or 15 years. And I am not kidding. When I make up my mind to do something, I am all in. And when I talk to a lot of traders, they'll tell me, oh, I trade a couple hours a day. And I'll ask them, well, are you trading profitably? And they'll say no. Well, I don't know how anyone is going to get good at anything by only doing it a couple hours a day. I don't. So I'll get off my soapbox on that. But I'm just telling you what I have done, what's helped me. You do what works for you. Okay, so the other thing that I do is I love reading. And so I have lots of books, but I also like to listen to audio versions of books. And so there are some trading books that I have listened to or read that I have actually recently linked to on my website. So these are books that are sold by Amazon, and I just created the link on my website to those books. But I have read or listened to most of the books on that list, and the ones that I have not gotten around to reading or listening to, they're on my list of books that I have been planning on reading or listening to. Some of the books, and let me just flip over here so I can show you. And this is at extraordinarytrading.com, and then you click on products, so the products menu. Some of these books, like Trading in the Zone and Market Wizards, I have the audio version. So if you click on these links, then it'll give you the option of buying either the physical book or the audio version of the book. For those two, I have the audio books, and I have listened to them a million times. It's perfect for those of you who are still working a job, because you can listen to these audio books on your way to work, while you're sitting at your desk, or on your way from home or whatever. And then this is another one, this Fibonacci trading book. This is a book that and you can get the Kindle version here. So I purchased this Kindle version here. I paid $63.75 for it, I believe. No, I think I may have paid $40-something for it, for the Kindle version. But this is one for those of you who are into Fibonacci trading, and I used to be really heavy into it. This person teaches lots of different ways, really advanced techniques for trading using Fibonacci. So that's another one that you may want to check out, but it's a little more spendy, but I did buy it and I read that book. So that's it. That's it in terms of what my weekend trading routine looks like. I start out by going to forexfactory.com. I look at the news events. I plan out which currencies I'm going to trade. Then I take a look at the charts, the monthly, weekly, daily, and hourly, and I get an overall idea as to whether or not the market is trending up or down or range bound, and I plan out my entries and profit targets. And then I practice. So I back test my strategy. I'm always practicing, guys. I spend so much time doing that. Like literally, I mean, hours and hours and hours. I spend on just back testing and practicing and making sure that I'm sharpening my decision-making skills. I keep talking about that because it's so important. Really, you have to get good at making decisions. You take the most simplest trading strategy and you can make money from it if you get good at making decisions. You got to be good at knowing when to get out, knowing when, okay, this is a trending strategy. The market's not trending, let me get out. Instead of doing what a lot of traders do. They take a trend trading strategy and they try to execute it when the market is consolidating, and then they say, oh, this strategy doesn't work, off to look for the next one. When you have to recognize what type of market you're trading. And this is again why I emphasize the importance of diversifying, trading different pairs. You get a lot of people who only trend trade, but then they only trade the Euro USD. Well, the Euro USD is not trending all the time. So then what are you doing? You're either losing money because you're trying to force a trend trading strategy on a pair that's consolidating, or you're not trading when you could be trading another pair or several other pairs, which is what I like to do. So anyhow, I'll stop talking about that because you can watch a previous video where I talked about the importance of diversifying. And like I tell people all the time, do what works for you. I'm telling you what has helped me to accelerate the path to profitability. It's rare to find a Forex trader who has learned to trade profitably in as little time as I have. And I taught myself. But I'm telling you, it's because I have been all in, working hard, and really understanding the importance of trading psychology. And that's one thing that this Trading in the Zone book up here, this book here, this is all about trading psychology. It changed my life, seriously. So, highly recommend it. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you get the audio version, you will probably listen to it 20 times like I have. You know, there's so many nuggets in that book. And these are all good books. I've read several of these, but some of these, like this one here, I've got this one on my list to read. I haven't read that one yet. But anyhow, I hope this helps you all. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. And as always,